Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum to everybody. On behalf of the entire board, let me warmly congratulate you, our Minister of Finance and Revenue. Look forward to working very closely with you, and my congratulations on your concluding the last tranche of IMF. Wish you success, and PSX is here to offer you all the support you need. Pakistan Stock Exchange, as you very well know, has a strategic role in the entire capital market ecosystem of Pakistan. The board, in its tenure, the current term of the board, which is about to end in April, has positioned PSX as a frontline regulator by strengthening its governance, regulatory framework, and leading the technical transformation to unleash the immense potential and power of this platform. This has for decades remained undertapped, I must say. So, very proud of this moment that you are here and being so experienced within the financial market sphere. I singularly am counting on your helping us integrate capital market institutions, players effectively with the banking sector. I'm sure you know this all over the world. There has to be a strong interdependence between the non-bank and the banking sector for any segment of the financial market to operate properly. In context of capital market, your help is very much warranted, going beyond the steps that Farooq has laid out quite exhaustively, which I will not repeat, but to really appeal to you that we need a very strong interdependence linkages between the banking sector and capital market to lift the capital market. It'll ease the pressure. And you, of all, knows this deeply because you also, your Habib Bank earlier has been able to set up the different subsidiaries and entities. I don't know whether you know a bit of a history. My passion for capital markets dates back to the first ever Asian Development Bank operation. It was a 250 million policy package. The size of the package of ADB has not changed to date. Any operation they do is 250 or 300 on an average, with exception of the 500 that they were contemplating for the energy sector. What did it do? It laid the foundation for what you see today. It abolished the Capital Controller's Office, laid the foundation of SECP, automated this exchange, which has now been lifted by the efforts that we are very proud of the Chinese consortium to establish and operationalize the national trading surveillance, trading and surveillance system. All the subsidiaries foundation was laid through the ADB program and technical assistance. And there was a lot of advice given to Pakistan on insurance and pension sector reforms. Why do I bring this out? I think a lot of sacrifices have been made by our domestic shareholders and brokers. I worked endlessly with all the leading stakeholders of capital market because I was processing this operation within a short period of 3 years when Pakistan was facing balance of payment crisis. They have made a very big sacrifice because they own this whole exchange. And on my continuous pressure as a part of the conditionality of this operation, we have convinced all our brokers to focus on strengthening the governance of this exchange. And they very gracefully agreed to the conditionalities of the ADB program. I have to pay my tribute, amongst others, there are lots of them, but to Arif Habib, who negotiated this transaction with me. Until to date, his support for the capital market being one of a primary and original stakeholders, it has been unprecedented. I have to say, all this led to demutualization and corporatization of the exchange. We are now proud to have Chinese consortium, all the three top exchanges, and HBL as our equity partner. So we count on not only our domestic broker stakeholders, but also our Chinese consortium and HBL representatives who may be there as equity partners to take now this exchange to get what I would call stage 3.0 of the capital market reforms. Power of any exchange, as Farooq has tried to also outline, lies in the diversification of capital generation to meet private sector requirements, be it IPOs, equity, and different debt structures. Finance ministers you already know this, that one of the things that we are trying to do on the revenue front is to digitize the revenue structures. We are trying to also digitize PSX. We believe that digitization of the revenue system will have a very positive impact on the PSX too, because it will stop the hemorrhaging of this economy through undocumented sector. So unlocking the potential of the platform has to be an ongoing process. Boosting confidence will now be in your able hands, because you have to help out reduce the economic fragilities, the exchange rate and interest rate swings, which is tremendous challenge for the Pakistan Stock Exchange, always in any exchange. I have to also bring to your attention, as a student of capital market, that Pakistan should be proud of that PSX has adopted the IASCO standards completely. PSX has adopted a tougher governance regime, and PSX, as was pointed out earlier, is driven tremendously by openness, transparency, high disclosure standards relative to any other standard of Pakistan, sector of Pakistan. Also, we have nurtured all the large business and clients now over the last few months to really be going after, beyond the issues of the tax privileges and others, to actually be focused on competing with other segments of the market. You and I jointly do know that privileges of having tax concessions are probably going to be history for the next couple of years. Besides this, I wanted to share with you that the board of Pakistan Stock Exchange, with the support of our CEO, has been able to adopt a new PSX strategy. I'm really proud that I and Farooq have worked very closely to develop this strategy, and hopefully on another visit of yours, we will have a session with you on the components of this. Our vision and mission at the board is to strive for development of sustainable stock exchange. And last year, Pakistan Stock Exchange has joined the League of the World Federation of Exchange and engaged our stakeholders to conform to ESG standards. I know you are a great believer of it. We were able to review very closely with your team at that previously the HBL efforts to meet the ESG standards. PSX board has been very strategic and has attempted to strategize and prioritize the development of the stock exchange. It has enhanced the vigilance to the regulatory platforms that we have. We are keeping an eye on our core business. PSX in the last 6 months has simplified its IPO processes and now fast-tracking its approval, as Farooq mentioned. New initiatives are being launched to stimulate supply and demand for PSX business and products. Regulatory reforms are something that you ought to be proud of, because if you know the history of the stock exchange, you would know how critical this has been. We have been able to foster an environment where investors can operate with confidence and trust. Joint supervision and inspections of PSX with other subsidiaries of capital market are really a breakthrough, as I see. Strong vigilance of regulatory committee, which I have been heading, and enforcement measures thereof has instilled integrity and in the market practices and promoted a fair and ethical trading environment. Ease of doing business, Farooq has touched upon, but I have to say there are still lots of efforts to be made, because I keep on hearing from brokers and also from bankers issues surrounding an investor account opening. So your efforts to help us out on that front will be valued. Also, products such as the Russian equity windows, we would very much welcome your talking to the bankers to really work hand in glove with the Pakistan Stock Exchange. Diversification of product is another priority area for the board. We are not only working to enhance the market's resilience and investor base, but to foster, as I said, sustainable growth in capital market ecosystem. Our Sharia scholars and industry experts have really played a prominent role. Our exchange today has half of its business in Sharia products. Recently, PSX has been allowed trading of government debt securities, and I think you need to just talk to your team in the Ministry of Finance to know what an uphill battle that was to have the legal amendments. PSX IT systems now integrate the GDS trading seamlessly within the exchange's existing framework. Recognizing the importance of the ESX factors that I talked about in ensuring long-term sustainability and value creation, we have a standing task force of the PSX, PICG, and other stakeholders that continue to play an advocacy to nurture ESG products. Our objective is to work with the SECP to create a unified framework that elevates ESG consideration and gives international markets an avenue to trade in our ESG compliant securities. PSX's inclusion in the League of Sustainable Stock Exchanges is something that makes us all proud, and you as Finance Minister can talk about it everywhere globally. It will give us visibility and commitment to sustainable practices and ethical conduct. As you know, money goes where sustainability is there. The NTS system that was talked about, a difficult process, but the board in the midst of that played an instrumental role. It has set up a new IT and digitalization committee to broaden our digitalization footprint. This IT committee is working to institutionalize robust IT policies and governance structures. I bring these steps out to you that incrementally, every day, every month, we have been taking huge steps to take this PSX to new frontiers, innovative digital solutions, and leveraging technology all over Pakistan through the digital stacks that we had started to work, and you'll take it forward. At the PSX platform, we'll have a very strong nexus to open up this economy more and more. To promote inclusivity and collaboration, we have established a trading platform to have a very open dialogue with our broker, the main stakeholders, the mutual funds, and other asset management companies. I want to conclude by thanking you to be there. I'm really sorry that I was not there to greet you and pay my respects in person, but I'm sure we will have more occasions. I have to say, my confidence in not only your role at the Ministry of Finance, but at the PSX to help us change the game further is very much something that I'm looking forward to. Thank you so much for gracing today's session.